This is the Inferno Podcast. It's the official podcast of UAB Athletics. Blazer fans, this is the place every week for an inside look into UAB Athletics. This episode is brought to you by Pearl River Resort. Welcome into the Inferno Podcast. Scott Griffin here. Season 2, we're already at episode 9. Can you believe it? As we talk a little football today. And of course, our episode rundown brought to you by Legacy Credit Union, the official credit union of UAB Athletics. Leading off the show, as you would expect, head coach Trent Dilfer. We find out what happened at the end of the Tennessee week and game and how he feels about that now with a week in between and the off week and how they prep for that. They've got Army coming in this weekend. Conference season will start getting really week after week, the bulk of that, so we'll talk about that as well. And then our Blazer of the week, Elijah Lagg, the tight end who has come over from Copiah Lincoln, Arkansas native, and he's hanging out with us today about his dreams and aspirations here in the Blazer career that he has chosen to be here with UAB. And then, of course, we'll give you the fall sports, everything going on. We've got tons of action coming up here on UAB, so check that out as well. As always, you can like and subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and sign up and get those notifications on whatever platform you get with the Inferno Podcast. So we'll take a break, come back, and we'll talk to Trent Dilfer again, the post-Tennessee, pre-Army couple of week window there when we return here on the Inferno Podcast. Hang on.
Are you getting sacked by monthly fees on your checking account? Trent Dilfer here, head coach of the UAB Blazers. Legacy Credit Union's everyday checking account can get you back in the game. No minimum balance, no monthly fees, and get paid up to 2 days early. Check out LegacyCreditUnion.com for more information and apply today. Legacy, the official credit union of UAB.
Welcome back to the Inferno Podcast. Scott Griffin here. Of course, our Coach's Corner brought to you by Pepsi and Viva Health. We always enjoy Trent Dilfer coming in as we learn things going on. So I know you had an off week, but let's go back since you haven't been on to Tennessee. Thank you for making me look pretty good because I was on a couple of Southeast football shows, and I said, UAB's going to score 20 or more points. And you did against Tennessee. So let's start with what went right in the game after you look at it on video.
Yeah, I thought we did a admirable job of pass protection. We could not run the ball. We tried. We did not want to make that thing. We did not want to throw it 51 times. That was not the plan. Yeah. We just were having a difficult time schematically, decision-making, and physicality running the football. So we had to throw it a bunch of different ways. I thought we did an admirable job protecting. I thought Jalen started off a little janky. He did. He's trying to be a superhero, and make big plays. And then once we got him settled down, I thought he did a fantastic job of dealing. And that's really the conversation we had was, you're not going to have a lot of time and there's not going to be a lot of space. So you got to deal. You got to be a point guard. And he did a really good job with that. I think he completed 18 of his last 22 or something, or 23. And I thought our receivers did a nice job catching the football. We had 2 unfortunate turnovers. One was an exceptional play by a defender, their nickel punching the ball out, and another one was miscommunication between the quarterback and the tight end. So that was disappointing. But we were able to punch it in, make a couple big plays, being unique on offense. And we talked all week long, regardless of what the score of the game was, we wanted to play our best football the last 10, 15 plays of the game. And I will say we did. Offensively we did, and defensively we did. So that was encouraging. I think our guys entered the bye week with humility, which is good. You play a team with $21 million roster, you're going to get humbled a little bit. And I think they handled that well, but also hungry. So humble and hungry and knowing some confidence, knowing that against a team with 20x the payroll that, they could still compete and do some good things. And now we need to build on those things and take it into conference play.
And to do that, because they took away the run, even more impressive, I think.
Yeah,
it's
hard.
You take away one, as you know, that's hard.
It's hard to throw the football when the other team knows you're throwing the football.
Yeah.
It is. You really, ideally, in offensive football, you want to pass and run on your terms. You want to be able to dictate when you're running and passing and keep them off balance. And they had just stoned us at the line. And we had a couple runs that we did block well, and we didn't make good decisions on whether to hand it or throw it or running back reads or whatnot. But to play an entire half where they know you're going to throw it and to have some success was a big positive takeaway.
All right, so what did you see on the other side of the ball? Again, taking in consideration, which I know you do, the difference in talent level, NIL and all that, what could you see that you liked or took away from that?
How hard we played and how hard we competed. And, that game got away from us quick. And it would have been really easy for a college kid to be pouty and snotty and whiny and make excuses. And I've seen that for 2 years, right? And instead, they kept plowing ahead. They kept staying positive. They kept looking for solutions. They kept trying to talk themselves into getting a stop. And there was none of the woe is me, feel sorry for myself. It was, I got to go back out there and play better. I got to go back there and compete harder. And we're running around, we're running to the football and trying to shed blocks and trying to make tackles there late in the game when the game's obviously over on the scoreboard, but it wasn't over to them. They had great pride and making sure that they finished the game strong. I believe if we can carry that alone over, that mentality over, will be significantly better than we've been here in my tenure.
Okay, so you go into off week. What's the message? You're not doing the total change of anything. You're just trying to build on what I think has been a pretty good year so far, at least.
Well, the message really consistent has been meet the standard, get better.
Yeah.
Like meet the standard off the football field in your preparation, everything that you do, we have a standard. We don't ask them to play perfect. We've never asked our players to play perfect. It's an impossible ask.
Because it's not going to happen, right?
It's an impossible ask. We do ask them to prepare perfectly. We do ask them to hold them to a standard. We hold them to a standard for them to hold themselves to a standard off the field that's impeccable. Exhaust your preparation, grow your character, treat people well, have impact in your community. Like all these things that we believe are just no-brainers that kids need to learn. I know it's not the common narrative, but we believe that is the most important thing. And then go let it rip on Saturdays. And if you've done that, you'll make better decisions. You'll have better emotional control. You'll think clearer. You'll naturally be the best version of yourself. And yeah, you're going to make some mistakes. And when you do, reset and refocus and move forward. So I think it's just we double down on that message. We use the 3 hard practice days as getting better at some football stuff. Like I said in the first meeting, I'm like, hey guys, guess what? We got to get better at football. And they all kind of nod their heads like, yeah, we do. Like we got to get better at football. So we took the 3 days and we tried to get better at football. They worked really hard. There were some really neat highlights from the week of practice where guys late in practice on a bye week, on a Wednesday, when it's hard to compete, when your body hurts, and they're given everything that they have. It was also an opportunity for some guys to get healthy that have been banged up. I think, we've only been together a short amount of time because of how rosters changed.
49 guys.
Yeah. So I think there was guys better understanding the systems, better understanding the schemes, better understanding the whys. I think we had some good meeting time where we could catch up on some stuff. And then we gave them some time off. And this was hard for me. I'd never in my football career, this is 14 years playing. Well, you go back to college, I played college for 4 years. That's 18, 4 years in high school. That's 22, 9 years ESPN, studying how teams. I had never given a team 3 days off.
It had to feel weird.
And I'd never been part of it.
Yeah.
And it was weird. But what got me was with how hard they work in May, June, and July now. It is not vacation for them. They don't have summers. They go to school.
It's
they
NFL
lift weights.
Now, really.
Yeah.
The
NFL doesn't work this hard.
Yeah,
The NFL doesn't do anything in the off season. College kids do. It's a lot of time on task. And there's not a lot of breaks. You give them a couple days in camp when you transition to the normal schedule. You get a little bit because we played on a Thursday, so they get a day and a half. Like, they didn't get a chunk for a while. So to give them a chunk of time where they could get away from football, and we told them, turn your football brains off, man. Like, don't think about football. Be smart, make good decisions, be a family, be with friends, relax, catch up on sleep, eat, take care of yourselves. I hope it doesn't backfire. I'm going to find out at 4:50. They better come in tingly today. I'll tell you that. They all know. I told them Friday, I said, you better come in tingly, like hair on the arm, standing up. You get to do this. Like, let's not forget, you don't have to do this. You get to do this. So today at 4:50, we'll see, but there should be an excitement, electricity in the building. If there is, that's a good sign.
There's always a way to go with this with coaches on an off week. Do you introduce them some snippets of the opponent or no? Or do you wait just till the week like normal?
We did a little bit of both. Army plays a different front defensively than we're used to seeing, so we wanted to make sure we got them comfortable with that front. Defensively, it's triple option, so we've been working triple option for quite a while, but this year's iteration for Army is a little different. So, again, I'd say probably 50-50, probably 50% Army, 50% getting better at football. Now, we try to do some cross-training things that we were just getting better at football, but they were seeing pictures that were Army pictures.
Right.
We weren't saying, hey, this is what Army does, but we were giving them pictures of some of the things that Army does, and that way we could get better at not just football, but getting better at football against a 4-eye, getting better at football versus a jack defender, getting better at football versus quarters, getting better at football versus a different split by the offensive lineman, yada, yada, yada. So I've always believed you kind of do both. I'm a both-and guy. You try to do both as much as you can and teach them football in general. That was the biggest thing. When we had a staff meeting after the bye week, after the Tennessee game, I said, if I were to put my finger on one thing, and this is I'm not criticizing anybody. This is probably how it should be with 49 new players and a bunch of new coaches. We have to be a smarter football team. We have to teach them the what, the how, the why. They have to be in our minds. We can't just assume that they know when we call a play what we're trying to accomplish. We got to understand why certain techniques help them in certain ways. Some of the nuance of the game, like our football intelligence has to grow as a football team for us to get better. And we got to win every inch. I keep saying it. We got to find all the inches that there are to win to make up for some of the salary cap.
The other things, right? Yeah.
Things that we have to deal with.
Yeah. As you know, I'm not telling you that you don't know, responsibility football is where you begin defensively this week against a triple option. Kind of describe that.
Well, they make you defend 11 people in the run game, so that's hard. Usually you don't have to count for the quarterback. They flood gaps. I'm trying to make this very simple. There's way more XO to this, but they will flood a gap. So they run a quarterback follow play. So that's one of the hardest plays to defend because you can win that gap, but then the quarterback follows that gap. Yeah. So you've defeated your blocker. You've tackled the first guy. Well, the first guy didn't have the ball, and here comes another guy. Right. Then they can stretch you thin because they get forward to a side real quick with the quick motions and the triple option stuff. You have to tackle the dive, but you also have to defend the quarterback, and let's call it the C gap, so 3 gaps over. But then you also have to have the pitch responsibility.
Every play, pretty much.
Every play, and then you have to all these triple teams will throw it more too. So now you have to defend the pass, and a lot of these blockers come off like they're going to block, but then they run routes. So are they running or they're throwing? So it creates a ton of conflict for your defense. A lot of one-on-one tackling. So traditional offense, if you have an idea what's coming, you can rally other hats to the ball and rally tackle. Here you have a lot of one-on-one tackles because the other players are playing their responsibility. They're either gap sound or they're tackling somebody. So there's a lot of eye candy that goes with it, and then there's just a lot of difficult assignments that come in with it. And then you add the hardest thing about playing Army and Navy, and this is what the players will hear. They won't hear a lot of XO from me, but what they'll hear from me is however hard you think is the hardest you play, they play harder.
Yeah.
I thought I'm going to show the offense this. They got beat by North Texas and by East Carolina, and both offenses scored a lot against their defense. So on paper, you'd be like, oh, okay, this is a defense we can take advantage of. You watch the second halves of those games, where Army's made some adjustments, and they win both those second halves from a physicality standpoint. ECU had to make plays. Like, they didn't have wide open people. They didn't have huge rushing lanes. They just made some. I'll compliment East Carolina. Their players played as hard as Army players played, if not harder. That in the first half. That hardly ever happens. And in the second half, Army kicked their tails a little bit. Army got after North Texas in the second half a little bit. So you have to be able to, you have to have a mindset of, for 60 minutes, I'm going to go against somebody that at some point in his life is going to be defending our freedom, and he's putting his life on the line. He's going to play that hard. That's his DNA. That's how he's wired. Like, he wouldn't be there if he wasn't wired that. Can I meet that?
Yeah.
Can I be the guy that meets that intensity and that physicality and that focus and that commitment for 60 minutes? Very few college football players can say yes, and that's why they win consistently. We have to get ours to understand that that's the battle at hand.
And that is a stake in the heart mentality.
Yes.
Until the clock says zero.
They do
From
not,
your standpoint.
If you watch Army's last, it's the last snap is, 2 last snaps are kneel downs against East Carolina, if I can remember correctly. But the 3 snaps before those kneel downs, they have backups in the game because the game's at hand. It's 28-6 or something. It's the hardest they played the whole game. It's they don't look at the scoreboard. I'm telling you.
It's a standard, yeah.
They just don't. In fact, last year's schedule, they didn't put a single opponent on their schedule when they went public, like that schedule that's back there.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't have names. They just went 1-0, 1-0.
It's game us 3, right?
It's us versus us. Like,
Yeah.
in their minds, and I've had teams like this. One of my high school teams was like this. We didn't even know who we played the next week. It was us versus us. We didn't care.
Yeah.
Didn't matter who we played. We had a standard, and they feel that way. And I think our kids need to understand that, because, you know, however the ball bounces, however we execute, I mean, it's college football. You know, it's kind of, you never know on some of those things. The one thing you can control is how hard you play for 60 minutes. And our kids need to play the hardest they've ever played in their lives for 60 minutes.
So, as people, and you probably know this, when they look at service academies, Air Force, Navy, Army, they kind of group them together, act like they're together. So this may be a stupid question to you, but having played Navy already, how does it help in prepping for Army, either schematically or just mentally?
I think at the line of scrimmage it helps, because what's very hard to replicate is the type of blocking schemes that you get from Army and Navy. So I'm saying defensively.
Right.
You got them versus Navy. Now you're going to see them again. Same kind of similar iterations of them from Army. Offensively, it helps on the same thing. The line of scrimmage, the relentless effort their defensive linebackers play with. Like, you're going to block them. Like, you're probably bigger and stronger and maybe more athletic than them at times. So you're going to get in position to block them. Can you sustain the blocks? If you look at the second half of Navy, we have had a bunch of times. They just kick our tails and get off blocks. That's why we couldn't run the football. You know, we have open players, but they play a little bit harder. Like, it's you have to finish. If you just want the simplest term, this game is about finishing. The academies tend to finish better than non-academy schools.
And that's why they've been really good.
That's why they've consistently won. Yeah.
That's incredible. What do you like? Because we're kind of at the midway point, very close. Just generally, because I know you could go 1,000 different roads here with this question, but what are you liking that you see consistently right now, and then what concerns you? Hey, we need to ramp this up consistently.
I think this group knows how to work. Last year I made the mistake of thinking that how you practice is how you play. We had some great practices last year that did not turn into horrific game experiences. When I look back at that, because it really puzzled me, I'd never been around that before in my life. I'd never been around a team that could practice well and then play bad.
That is weird.
It was weird.
Yeah,
that's
very bizarre.
It was bizarre.
Yeah.
But what I looked at was that, one, we didn't practice hard enough. Like, we didn't demand enough in practice, so they could fake their way through practice in terms of how hard they were working. I told everybody I was never going to get conned again, so one of the things we did is we cranked up how hard we practice. You can't fake it through a practice here. This group shows up and works. Like, they are working really, really hard. It is 85% of the roster shows up every single day with the attitude of, I got to get better today. I got to work. Like, this is going to be hard, but I'm gonna dive into it and be better at the end of the day. That's something I'm really proud of. I think they've really worked hard on staying positive. Like, they've really recognized how when you get the feeling sorry, the self-pity, when you get the victim mentality, when you get all that stuff, that you spiral as an athlete. And so that I think they're really pushing hard to stay positive and to stay optimistic and to look forward and to do, flush whatever bad happened or whatever good happened, moved on to the next thing. I think they're really working hard on controlling their emotions. We have not had a lot of emotional outbursts. We have the one unfortunate incident with Sarad that he's being disciplined for.
Right.
But we haven't had a lot of the extracurricular stuff. Our guys have done a good job controlling their emotions. And they're getting better. Like we on both sides of the ball, we see young players that are getting better. We see veterans that are getting better. They're playing better together. Now, are we where we need to be consistently good? No, I don't think we're there yet. But we're showing a lot of signs in a lot of areas of market improvement. And we're trusting that will equal wins.
So we've got the bulk of the conference obviously coming. You dipped your toe in, but we got it really coming now. How key is this game? Do you, because you could go either way, right? You can build it up and go, hey man, this could make our season or not, or which is dangerous to do, right? Because you don't know. But to you personally, without talking to the team, how key is this game?
I think it's big as we're at home. You gotta learn how to win consistently at home. You gotta win. You gotta defend your home turf, especially in conference. I think it's really important because we have an advantage of having the week off. Now they have a couple extra days. We have a week off, so our bodies should be fresher, faster, stronger, healthier if we handled the bye week appropriately, which we believe we did. I think it's important because, and this is the coach answer, but it's so true, because in my world, the next one is the most important world. Most important.
It's the only way you got to.
And I've never known any different. I was raised by parents that were athletes, right, and that were coaches. And I remember being in Little League games, playing the bad team, and my dad just being like, this is the most important game you've played in. Like, they stink. We're going to beat them by 13. He's like, no. That first pitch, your first at bat, the first pitch from the bump, like, that's what matters. That's what you can control, and your opponent really shouldn't matter. So I think we have to adopt that mindset. Like, the first kickoff return to this game is the most important moment of their life, and then they're going to have about 160 of those moments in the game, and the opponent should be faceless to a certain degree, and your record should not matter. Like, this is the next opportunity. Let's not forget, we get to do this, and that's going to be a message they're going to hear relentlessly. Like, we are so honored and privileged to be able to get to do this. There's so many people that would die to put themselves in our shoes. Die is a harsh word. They would sacrifice a lot to be able to do what these players are doing and what we're able to do as coaches. And there needs to be a sense of gratitude and appreciation for the opportunity that they have each and every time they step on the football field, regardless of what your record is or what the score is or who your opponent is.
Did you took a break? I mean, because
I did. I had a grandchild.
Right. No, congratulations. I forgot about that. They were very close last time.
I actually didn't have the grandchild.
Right.
My daughter had the grandchild.
Right, exactly.
So, grandchild number 3.
Good timing, by the way.
It was great timing. Yeah. She had her midweek, so I didn't get to see her the first couple days, but we got done Friday. I drove up to Louisville, was able to spend some time with the new one, and then was able to stop by and see my other 2 in Nashville on the way back, and still got some work done too. Because
great trip.
There's not a whole lot you can do with a 3-day-old. So, I did the cutesy kissy, that type of thing, but I was watching tape too, so still got some work done.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, very blessed.
But you get to get a refresher too mentally, and even though, yes, you never get away from work football season, but you got to do that, and that's great.
And we did. And we told the coaches, like I told the coaches, get out of here.
Yeah.
Like Friday afternoon, somewhere wandering around the building, I'm like, hey, get out of here. Like, you guys need to be dads and husbands and friends.
Go out to eat,
relax,
right? Whatever.
And do, get your hair cut and get your car washed and, pay some bills you haven't paid and go through some mail. Like, we have lives too. And you need to live your life a little bit. So I was pleased that they were able to get a break to do that.
Absolutely. You feel better now as we wrap up, as you considering where you were, if you can transplant yourself back to last year. You're never satisfied. I know you're a head coach. You're never satisfied. You're looking at it way differently than we are.
I think we're growing. I think that's what I would say. If somebody had me do a what are we, 24, 28 games into this thing?
Yeah.
It's been very disappointing. I'll be the first to admit. But I do believe there's significant growth. Like we have shown significant, and it's not just me that says it. Like our players say it, our coaches say it, our administrators say it, our fans say it. Like you could see us growing. We need to grow faster, and that growth needs to equal wins. This is a bottom line business in college football, and you have to win football games. But I am really proud of the organization's growth. I think we've made some big leaps and bounds. I feel better about where we're at. There's still some things I'm pushing hard and tweaking to change, but for the most part, I feel like we're creating a winning culture, a winning standard, and now it just we got to show up and play. We got to find a way in my tenure to take the preparation and turn it into high-level execution on Saturdays. That's been the one missing link. It's the most important thing. But that's the one I just continue to I'm wrapping my brain around. I think about nonstop is what are we missing to allow these kids to go out on Saturdays and play their very best ball individually, as units, and as a team?
The final question. You did the mirror look, which I thought was terrific. We've already talked about that. As you look at yourself now, that's going like you envisioned and wanted, with your impact on the team, which is really the things you just talked about.
I continue to grow.
Not that you're ever going to be satisfied. But
I continue to grow and get better at this. I say that every week. I think I'm trying to figure out. I've always been formulaic on how you win. There are formulas that have won for years that I've been very fortunate enough to be a part of, right, and be able to build. I think you have to change at certain times based on who your people are. And I'm trying to find the best way for this team to win. Get out of my formulaic approach and say, there's a lot of ways to win games. What's this team's way? What's the best way for this team to win? Now, their burden in that is you can't turn it over. You can't beat yourself. We can do a lot of things. But if we have stupid penalties and turn the ball over and drop interceptions and don't recover fumbles and don't tackle, it's going to be very hard to win. But we start doing the basics well as players, I think there's some things that we can do as coaches to give them a better chance to succeed.
All right. Good luck Saturday.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a big game Saturday, 11 o'clock, Protective Stadium. Be sure you get out there and support the Blazers. We'll take a break. We'll come back with our Blazer of the Week here on the Inferno Podcast.
The if in life, it's a world of possibilities. If you go for a night out with friends, if you can keep an eye on your money along the way, if you know you have overdraft protection with no fee transfers from savings, when you get a low balance alert, it's easier to say yes to fun. If that sounds good, try Regions Life Banking.
Stay ready for the if in life. Regions Bank, embrace the if in life.
Welcome back to the Inferno Podcast. Our Blazer of the Week, we got another blocking guy. I don't know what it is with these blocking guys, but they love hanging out at the Inferno Podcast. Tight end Elijah Lagg hanging out with us. Elijah, how's it going?
It's going good, man. I'm feeling great.
Now, is that offensive to say you're a blocking guy?
It's endearing to me.
It is.
I enjoy it. I think of myself as a hybrid guy.
Yeah.
But I like to get nasty down there in the trenches.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you're used to that because in high school you were totally a blocking guy. You were a lineman.
Sir.
You were one of the five.
Yes, sir. Number 71, baby.
71, tackle.
71.
Tackle, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Right tackle.
So tell us the transformation from that to picking a JUCO, Copiah Lincoln, which is one of the best junior colleges in America.
Right.
And transitioning here.
Man, I'm from Arkansas. I played high school up there, and always just was an offensive lineman, starting in junior high all the way up into high school.
Just because you were bigger?
I was the bigger guy on the team.
So you automatically go there.
Yeah. They were like, here's where you go, basically.
Right.
So it was
you have no chance but anywhere but here.
Right. So I always was like, man, like, I think I can go out there and catch passes. That's my dream. I always wanted to play tight end. That was like my huge. Well, first it was receiver. When I watched De'Runnya Wilson, you may have not know who that is.
No, he's Mississippi State.
Yes,
Absolutely.
sir. Yeah,
and in the NFL. Yes.
Oh yeah, he was my favorite, man. But after that developed into me wanting to play tight end, and I just continued to develop in high school, and I was wanting to go play college football, and I was just like, I don't think this is going to work out for me at offensive line going to college like this. So
why at that moment? Was it size? You weren't.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't think this size is going to work out for me, and it's not my dream. I'm just like, it's my dream to play tight end, and I cannot live my life knowing what could have been. I have to go for it. So it was actually really easy for me after that to resolve in myself. It was like, all right, it's my dream. I'm going to try. I'd rather fail or go try and fail than never try at all.
Right.
I had
wonder, right?
Right. And I had Division II offers at offensive line, actually.
Okay.
So that just wasn't where I thought the Lord was leading me. And I just figured, all right, I'm going to try anything in my power to become a tight end. And the JUCO realm kind of opened up in a strange way. I thought I was getting looks from Toledo. Toledo in the MAC?
Yeah.
But I was talking to this guy, and it was the week of where I thought I was going to go to Toledo, Ohio to visit these guys. And he hadn't changed his Twitter profile from that into his junior college profile. He had moved from there to Coffeyville Community College.
Okay.
But it was just strange how the Lord used that, because I was super bummed out at first. I was like, man, I thought that this was about to be my big break and everything. And, he was like, nah, you should still come give us a shot and still check us out. I went there, and it completely opened my eyes. I was like, oh, my gosh, like there's more opportunity out there to still make it to Division I yet, because the transfer portal was still kind of a new thing, and
sure.
I wasn't going to bet on that. So opened my eyes to junior college. My uncle knew the coach from Coach Davis from Copiah Lincoln, who had been there for a long time. And as soon as I met him, I was just like, yep, this is the guy that I want to spend some time with. I believe in this guy. And went down there, man, to Mississippi, and just started developing as a tight end. It's just been a journey ever since. So.
All right. So when you got the Division II offers, I'm curious as to the size you were. You got up to what as a senior in high school?
Oh, I'm heavier now than I was then. I was
so you were like 220?
225, 230 maximum.
Yeah, 6'4", though.
Yeah, I'm like 6'3", 230 at that time, probably.
So not D1 offensive lineman, obviously.
No.
But he obviously had good enough feet and foot speed a little bit for them to even consider.
Right.
You got to have a little bit of that, even if you're a blocking tight end.
Yes, sir. Yeah. No, I grinded as much as I could as an offensive lineman. I tried to do everything I could to make highlights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess they saw some.
All right. So you got a scholarship.
Yes, sir.
To a pretty good JUCO again. Maybe the most well-known JUCO in the Southeast, I would argue. And you're a tight end. So mentally, you've reached your goal, but I know you want to be good at it. So tell us about the beginnings of that in JUCO land.
Oh, man. It was really crazy for me, because it was super surreal to see it doesn't mean much to other people, but it meant a lot to me when I saw my name on the roster with the TE next to it. It was just kind of like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is real. And the first time it was just routine for everybody else. They were like, all right, hey, let's go run some routes on air, basically, with the team. It was a bunch of new guys, and they didn't realize I was sweating before I even went out there, because it's the Super Bowl for me. I was like,
just to run practice.
Yeah,
stuff,
I've got to make a name for myself. I got to show I can do this. So I was super stiff and super nervous. I was like sick the whole time, but every single route that I've run since then has just been such a joy. It's like I cannot believe that the Lord has allowed me to do this now. This is such a dream come true. So, I mean, I'm very thankful for the story that he's given me just because of that. I just feel like I enjoy football more as I've gotten older. It's been kind of like a paradoxical effect than what I've asked other people. They think that their best years of football are behind them.
In high school, yeah, all that stuff. Right.
And it's been the exact opposite for me, man. I just enjoy football more and more as I come out here and get better, and I feel more at home, feel more at place.
I've never heard anybody say they enjoy the route. So it's not even a matter if the ball comes your way.
Man,
it's just the route is fantastic for you.
I love every I mean, obviously I love catching the ball.
Well, that's
of course, a huge part. But just getting to run, I mean, just getting to go out there, run, just try and beat somebody with my speed, beat somebody with my athleticism, that has been just such a dream come true for me. I mean, it's fantastic. I love it.
I have never heard that as a dream, and that's very cool, by the way.
Oh, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah. All right, so did you emulate Witten, or there's so many. You got San Francisco guy. I can't remember his name now.
Juszczyk.
Well, yeah,
or Kittle.
Kittle.
Those are my favorites.
You've got those kind of guys up there. Obviously, gosh, my mind's going like Chiefs tight end.
I
Kelsey.
Like Kelsey, and I like Noah.
No, I'm going blank on tight ends because I love tight ends.
Right.
But do you emulate anybody?
Man, I'll tell you right now, my favorite tight end right now is Sam Laporta. Do you know who Sam Laporta is?
Yes.
But I try to watch guys that are my size and kind of like have my same sort of, I don't know, it seems like I try to emulate their style. My favorites are Sam Laporta, George Kittle, Kyle Juszczyk, Brock Bowers. I love Brock Bowers, man. That dude's awesome.
Yeah.
And I love Travis Kelce, and I love Noah Gray. Those guys, both for the Chiefs, are awesome. I love
Gray's
those guys.
the backup, but he's really good.
Oh, he's great. He's great, and I really like him because he's a super selfless guy. When you watch him, he a lot of times is running to get other people open.
Right.
But when the ball finds him, I think he's just super, super reliable, and I just really like to emulate his game as well.
Yeah. But it is the world of, and it's probably, I think of all sports, the world of tight end can be glamorous and glorified, like Kelsey.
Sure.
Who's not the greatest blocker, but he's caught 1,000 passes, right? Or whatever he's caught. Then you've got the blocking tight end that's so key to success with a team that likes to run the ball that may not catch as many, but just as critical. So
sure.
You've got these combining of worlds where you're not still have to block some, but you can be a guy that, to your point, runs a route and catches a pass. That's got to be a cool.
I think it's the best position in sports, man. I really do. It's a kind of this sounds crazy. Lay your life on the line, but I like getting down there with the offensive line and getting nasty in the trenches, man. Make a difference in the run game. I've always loved pancaking people. That is one of the greatest feelings in sports, especially just because it's super difficult for an offensive guy who's not allowed to hold. That's a huge part of you can't.
So you guys never hold in your life.
Oh, never in my life. Never in my life.
Is that right?
No, but
I get what you're saying, though. Yeah.
But if I had it my way, I would like to be like a 50-50 guy. That's why I love Sam Laporta so much, is because he does get down in the trenches and he helps out in the run game, as well as he's a super elite route runner and pass catcher. So that's who I'd like to be.
And his coach was a pretty good tight end in his day. So what grabs you about, and I know you love running routes, you've already stated that, but the fact that you can block and you are a really good blocking tight end has to be attributed to, well, I was a lineman for all those years, right? I mean, that had to prepare you so well for that, because let's be honest, a lot of tight ends don't want to block well. That's their least favorite deal.
Not really, no.
Yeah.
I would say that is kind of an interesting story, but I also wrestled in high school.
Okay.
And that really just knowing, understanding leverage and stuff like that has brought me a long ways. Paired with my offensive line journey, I've kind of gotten used to kind of getting in and tangoing with guys that are a lot larger than I am. So that kind of, I think, honestly, more than anything, the leverage as well as just the, I guess, the mentality that wrestling will give you when it's like, you know what, this guy may be bigger than me, but there's no reason I can't beat this guy.
Yeah.
You know?
And
So-
that one-on-one mentality.
Oh, yes.
Because when you're blocking, it's me and you, right?
Yes, sir. Mano y mano.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure. No, I mean, that wrestling has brought me a super far way. I mean, it has helped me out with recruiting, helped me out with life, taught me a lot of lessons. But those two things, I think, have been monumental in forming me as a blocking tight end as well.
Elijah Lagg, our guest here, tight end on UAB. Now, 6 total catches.
Yes, sir.
You probably remember each one and can detail it.
I believe so.
And
yeah.
now I'm talking about in Capaya. At Capaya, 6 total catches, right?
Right. I think it might have been 7, actually.
7, all right.
I think it might have been 7. But yeah, yes, sir.
All right, so this year alone, he's already got 5. You're almost to your complete 2-year total.
Yes, sir.
So they're throwing to you like nuts, probably in your mind. I'm sitting there
man.
going, well, that's not very many. And you're probably thinking, I'm overjoyed with 5 catches so far.
Yeah, it really that is exactly how it feels. Actually, it's like, man, these guys are feeding me. Like, let's go, man.
Won a game.
Yeah, no, it's pretty great, man. I guess I can't. That's just another reason of why I think I enjoy it more and more, is that I'm just getting more opportunity as I come along as well. And it's nice. I'm kind of getting my feet wet with the run after catch and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's obviously something that you work on more in a game than anything else. So that's been tremendous. But yeah, I think, man, I got about 12 receptions in game under my belt. I haven't touched the end zone yet. I'm excited for that experience. It's coming soon. I can feel it. I'm due, man. So, I'm excited.
So how did you develop your hands? Did you work on that or not really? Or did you always had good hands and we just didn't know it? Or
What I would say I did always have good hands because, oh, man, my dad's going to love this. My dad and I, even as an offensive lineman, we would catch probably – I mean, it was an absurd number of balls after practice, after games. If I was down, if I was up, that's
part of your deal.
That I love throwing the football and catching the ball. That's kind of a reason why I always wanted to play tight end. And he and I would just stay, literally hours, and just talk shop, talk life, and just be throwing the football back to each other. And I really truly do believe that that's what kind of developed my hands first before anything else.
Like, you remember that as long as you
Oh my gosh.
can remember back to anything,
Oh my gosh.
correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just catching.
Yes, sir. For
That's
sure.
awesome. That's awesome. So why UAB when you came out?
The recruiting process was actually pretty crazy for me. Coming out of junior college, I had options, and then I didn't have options, and I had options again. It was kind of in and out for a while there. And I've always just tried to trust the Lord with these sorts of decisions.
Yeah.
And, man, as I was going along, I kind of thought maybe I'd go to Texas State. I kind of thought I'd maybe go to FIU. Things were coming up and down. I thought I was going to go to UTEP for a little bit. And I come here, and it was a very similar experience to how I knew that I was going to go to junior college, actually. I just came here. I met the staff. The visit wasn't like super spectacular fireworks,
right.
things like that. I just met the staff. I met Coach Mortensen, met Coach Jeffers, met Coach Dilfer, and I was like, you know what? I believe in these guys. I feel good about this. These guys seem like they want to invest in me. They see something in me that many other coaches have seen so far, and because they were talking about my twitch and things like that, and that meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just like, man, these guys see something in me. I feel good about this. And very shortly afterwards, I think maybe a day or two later, I was like, yep, I feel really good. This was my last offer, actually.
Wow. Okay.
Very last offer, and it just kind of came to me. The Lord just kind of said, laid it on my heart. It was like, hey, this is where you need to be. And so far, I've just been absolutely thrilled with the decision I've made. So
When did you get here?
January 12th, maybe, I think. Sometime in
Yeah.
January. It's, neither here nor there.
So you've been here 9 full months, basically, almost, very close.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
So, and you said you know it was the right deal, right?
Unequivocally, this has been one of the greatest decisions I've ever made. Yes, sir.
That's awesome. Before we go to our lightning round, we have fun with you, and we just ask you kind of crazy, random questions,
All
right?
right.
So tell me about what we talked to Trent about, the team, where the team is, from your standpoint, tied in, because you guys score over 20 against Tennessee, which, again, I warned people about, and they're like, what? And you did. So your
Right.
offense, your side of the ball is pretty good.
Right. Yes, sir.
Not that you're ever satisfied, but it's pretty good right now.
Yes, sir.
So talk about it.
Man, I love the offense. I love the brotherhood we've got. It seems like, to me at least, it seems like in this transfer portal era that chemistry matters more than anything nowadays. And I feel like the more we practice, the more games we play, the better our chemistry gets. And the more guys trust each other, more things become intuitive. You can over-communicate to a point, and then it just gets to a point where you're just like, we know what we just trust each other enough that we know how this works now.
Right.
That's the main thing. I think that we things get less mental, and we just start feeling things. And I think we're going to get better every single game. The offense is just going to come together. I love these guys. I love Kitna. I love the offensive line. Love the receivers. Love the running backs. We have a great relationship with these guys, and it's just it's been a joy to work with these guys for sure.
Is that necessary to like your guys, especially on not just your team, but on the side of the ball, in your mind? Does it make it easier?
For sure. Yeah, I mean, a team that loves each other is going to be the team that doesn't love each other. That's just the bottom line. I mean, I wouldn't say necessary that you like everybody, but I think
Well, you don't have to hang out with
Right,
everybody. That would
right.
be impossible, but yeah.
But I definitely do think it's necessary for you to say, "Hey, I'm gonna put my body on the line for this guy," and that's easier if you have a connection with them for sure.
Yeah. How key is this game to you, Army? Or can you even afford to say that? I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but
I guess I'll ask for some clarification. Like,
well, I mean,
meaning,
to your year. I mean, we're almost the midway point. You're starting conference season. You're sitting there. It's a home game. You want to try to grab this one to get ahead in conference play or get a win and taste one at home, as Trent was talking about.
man, I think I'll just echo what Coach Dilfer was saying. Is just this is the most important game of our careers so far, and next week will be the most important.
So
game.
you can't afford to.
Yeah, I mean we can't afford to write anybody off or say, oh hey, they're too good for us. We can't hang with them. We just might as well count that as a loss. Hey, we should definitely beat these guys. I mean, it's college football. Everybody's here to play. I think as long as we focus on ourselves and as long as we focus on improving, the scoreboard will take care of itself. I'm a fan of hey, we just got to play with as much effort and tenacity as we can, be as physical as we can, and usually things work out like that. The Lord rewards effort, in my opinion.
Finally, did you learn anything about yourself individually against Tennessee?
Man, I really did actually. My whole athletic career, I've taken loss and failure very hard, and it's been kind of like I think I've had a negative relationship with failure and obstacles, and tried to how should I put this? Subvert it as much as I can. Oh, sorry about that.
No, you're good.
But I've learned from myself and just kind of talking to the Lord and praying about it that failure is not the obstacle. Failure does not mean that you are going down in a sense. Failure is the way through. So you fail, that means that you're that much closer to your goal.
Right.
If the NFL is my goal, that means I'm 1,000 failures away from my goal. Basically, that's how I think about it now. And, Tennessee, I made some mistakes, and it really bothered me. And I was just praying to the Lord, and I was just like, Lord, will you just reveal to me like what I need to learn from this? And that's just kind of what I took away from it. Is that just lean into the failure, man, and enjoy it while it lasts. It's not going to be here forever.
And then learn from it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Get better because of it. Yeah.
And reset.
Yeah.
And reset. And come back, and every play's got a life of his own. So that's what I would say for that, for sure.
All right, Elijah Lagg, our guest, tight end from Copiah Lincoln, at least collegiately. He's from Mountain Home, Arkansas, originally. So let's go with the lightning round.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Lay it on.
Got a little bit more fun.
All right.
Maybe still a little football, but more fun stuff for you. So your favorite food, and I'm going to guess barbecue. Just kind of putting myself in Mountain Home, Arkansas right now, or maybe totally wrong.
Man, I'm an amalgamation of cultures, man, and I'm actually going to say seafood gumbo here.
Seafood gumbo.
I used to live in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Oh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that's got to be my favorite food, I'd say.
And people think they've had seafood gumbo until they've had true Cajun
Oh man, yeah,
gumbo.
It's unreal.
Like, is there a member of the family that's Cajun or not really?
I wouldn't say so.
You just live there.
We just live there. You got Cajun folks around there. They love to cook. You got jambalaya, seafood gumbo,
Right.
stuff like that, and it'll change your life.
Oh yeah, I when I got the call to cover LSU, it's not a problem for me.
Oh man, yeah.
You know what I mean? I enjoy the food.
I know exactly what you mean, man.
In that part of the deal. So seafood gumbo.
Yes, sir.
Is your go-to. Now, have you found anywhere in Birmingham? We're kind of close to Louisiana, but have you found a place that comes close to that, or?
Man, there's nothing. I mean, I've had a little Cajun here. I don't have it often. It's just kind of like if I see it on the menu, I'm like, okay, here we go. Let's try
We're
it
gonna
out.
see if this is any good, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. And it hasn't come close to Baton Rouge. I mean, it's like, but I still love it. I'm not a very picky eater at all, but Birmingham does have some pretty great food spots around.
Oh no,
yeah.
And everybody says that.
Yes,
in
sir.
the lightning round, it's a restaurant aficionado's dream here.
Oh yeah, it's pretty nice around here.
Yeah.
I'm not very picky at all, so I can try a bunch of stuff.
But on a normal night, you're probably prepping your own stuff too.
Yeah, I've kind of gotten in a big kick here recently of just steak and eggs, man. It's kind of a strange meal, but
protein.
Man, I love it.
Yeah.
It's good to me, at least. Some people say I eat like an animal, like a dog. So
I hear you. All right, so what is the greatest thing about being a tight end, and what's the absolute, man, I could do without that part of being a tight end?
Greatest thing about being a tight end.
Or most enjoyable, either way?
I would have to say just the opportunity to be a part of the O-line as an extension of the O-line, and
That's the greatest thing.
as well as being able to be a weapon in the
Okay.
passing game. It's just I don't think that there's any other position like it. We have as much responsibility in everything as any other position. So I personally love that about tight end.
What's the worst thing?
What's the worst thing?
Maybe blocking drills?
Man,
Or you might like that.
worst thing. I'll tell you what, this may be just the worst thing for me. I'm not great at one-on-one pass protection.
Yes.
And that's necessary for tight ends sometimes when it comes to like
Occasionally, right. You got to stay in.
when
Right.
we're going to throw a deep ball or
Right,
something like
right,
that, and
right.
there's like two options. We want a one-on-one matchup between him and
Right.
him. And I'm just not I'm not very great at one-on-one pass pro yet. That's something I got to get better at. But I enjoy the challenge. But that's probably what I'd have to say for
Yeah.
my most disliked, I guess.
Now, a lot of times we'll ask people, regardless of sport, whatever position they play, well, which one would you like to play? But you've already answered that. You're playing the position, actually, you would choose to play.
Yes, sir.
You have no desire to be a defensive guy or a quarterback. Or
No.
You're good as a pass-catching tight end.
This is, I mean, as all I would say is that, like, not saying this is not about our offense, but just like as long as the offense uses tight ends in a pass and run way,
In both, yeah.
that's all I ask for. That's all I ask for. That's the dream come true for me.
I hear you. Do you have a favorite sports movie?
Rocky.
Rocky, that's old school.
Rocky, man.
You weren't even born.
I love Rocky.
Why?
That is the greatest motivational movie series of all time. Stamp it here on the Inferno podcast. Greatest movie. I mean,
You're
motivational.
adamant. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Why?
Rocky 2.
What grabs you? What is it?
Man, I think it's just the come up, the underdog story. I love Rocky Balboa. The quotes in the movie are great. My favorite probably has to be Rocky 4, I'd say, but 2, 3, and 4, man. And I love 1 too, 1 as well, but 2, 3, 4, that does it for me, man. I love those.
This
movies.
is old movies to you.
Oh,
I mean,
man,
your dad had to show you this.
Yeah, he sure did. I mean, I'm not very partial, I guess I would say. I just think good movies are good movies. It doesn't matter
regardless
how
of when it was. And,
it doesn't matter how old it is. I mean, I haven't watched Tombstone yet, but people say that that's great.
It's really good, yeah.
I'm going to have to watch Tombstone eventually. But Rocky, man, that's got to be the greatest sports series of all time.
See, I thought you were just going to say something within the last 5 or 10 years.
Nah, man, you can forget that. Rocky, man, bring it to me.
Rocky, I like
Yes,
it.
sir.
I like it. What do you do to get away from football? Are you a video game guy, or you read, or you just want to veg, hang out, close your eyes?
I love hanging out with people. I love hanging out with friends. I'm a big swimmer. I love to swim.
Really?
Yes, sir. There's lakes where I'm from, and I really do enjoy to swim. Love outdoorsy stuff. I don't really like sitting around too much because it kind of makes me feel, I don't know. I'm a kind of an antsy
Lethargic?
person. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a more intense person, so it kind of like, I don't know. It kind of wigs me out a little bit, so I need to get out and move a little bit. But I enjoy to do all sorts of different things.
Have you found any good lakes around here? Not really.
Actually, this was a terrible thing that I really shouldn't have done. But me and the tight ends, we went to the Cahaba River, and apparently there's all sorts of crazy things in there. But we swam we swam in there. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun though.
Did you do it for the off weekend?
It was back in the summer.
Oh, back in the summer.
Back in the summer.
Okay.
Yeah, but I haven't found any lakes around here yet. But we definitely did take a dip.
Oh, we got good lakes, man. You need to
Really?
get out. Yes.
Man, I need to give it a shot then.
Yeah, Smith Lake. Check it out.
Yes, sir.
Write that down. Very easy to remember, Smith Lake. Before you go, if you could write the story to the end of your career, it says, whether that's college, NFL, whatever the end of your career says, it says what?
I guess I would say, I would say that the end of my career would say he was a great tight end in the league. He made plays, but above all, he was a strong man with a soft heart, and he led people to the Lord with the way he played. That's what I would say.
That'd be the ultimate compliment.
That would be the end all be all for me.
Well, congratulations. You'll probably get there.
I hope so, man. We'll see where the Lord leads me.
Yeah. Final question, though. Since you're very adamant in your faith, is there a story behind Elijah?
Oh, the Old Testament Elijah?
Well, and your name.
Well, that's my parents actually. Well, obviously they named me after Elijah from the Old Testament.
Yes.
My name actually means Jehovah is my God, and I love the Old Testament. Elijah, he's very courageous. He actually kind of. I like that he kind of laughs at the. I forgot what their name. They were preaching to Baal, and they were worshiping Baal, and I like that he kind of makes fun of them. And he just kind of mocks in their face and says, my God's so much greater than yours and all this stuff. And he was a courageous man, and I strive to be like him one day. So, yeah, I've known the Lord for a while now, man. I came to know the Lord when I was pretty young, I would say. and I've been developing ever since then. My dad's actually a pastor up in Arkansas. He was a pastor of City on a Hill Church, and yeah, man, I've just been blessed with a fantastic family and a fantastic foundation for my faith. So yeah, yes sir.
Good stuff. We appreciate it.
Yes sir. Thank you.
All right. It's Elijah Lagg, the tight end for the UAB Blazers, our Blazer of the Week. More of the Inferno podcast in a moment.
Oh yeah, oh no. Oh yeah, let's roll. Let's roll.
Trent Dilfer here, head football coach of the UAB Blazers. Get out there and tackle your financial goals with a new credit card from Legacy Credit Union. Legacy offers multiple credit cards for whatever your financial objectives are. You can begin earning rewards today with a credit card from Legacy Credit Union. Legacy, the official credit union of UAB.
Welcome back to the Inferno podcast. This week in Blazer Nation, of course, brought to you by Children's of Alabama. We got a lot of action going on with our UAB fall sports. Let's start with women's soccer. They're at Charlotte on October 2nd. That is a 6 o'clock match. Again, UAB women against Charlotte. October 3rd, UAB softball, playing some fall softball tournaments and games. They're against Enterprise State and Shelton State in a doubleheader. That's at 3:30 and 6 o'clock on October 3rd. Men's soccer at Tulsa is also going on October 3rd. That's a 7 o'clock start there. The volleyball team also on the 3rd. Seems like everybody's in action there against Rice at 7 o'clock. And then also UAB women's tennis in the Sanford Invitational. That will be on the 3rd. And then men's tennis as well on the Battle of the Plains tournament. So ton of sports going on October 3rd. Then Saturday, of course, UAB football against Army at Protective Stadium. That's a nice 11 o'clock kick. Should be great weather for that game. Women's cross country at the Chili Pepper Festival will be also on Saturday at 11 o'clock, same exact time as the football team. Sunday, October 5th, the UAB volleyball team takes on Texas San Antonio. That's at 1 o'clock. And then also the men's golf team in action, October 5th through the 7th. At the Marquette Intercollegiate at Erin Hills. They'll be in action the 5th through the 7th. And finally, men's soccer at home against Jacksonville on the 7th. That's a 7 o'clock match start there. So a ton of action on all the sports, 4 or 5 different sports there to check it out on This Week in Blazer Nation. Again, brought to you by Children's of Alabama. Thanks for watching the Inferno podcast. Thanks to Trent Dilfer and Elijah Lagg for hanging out with us as well. Next week, we'll have Andy Kennedy coming by to talk a little basketball as they've already begun practice as well. For all the folks here at the Inferno podcast, Scott Griffin saying so long. We'll see you next week.